Hello friends, I am Saurabhi. In today's class, we will see what are standard output and error and how to track that. So this concept will be used very much in your day-to-day life and also in the DevOps. So what is it? So standard output is nothing but whatever the output that we are getting when we run any command. For example, if we write ls, that will list all the files and folders, right? So those files and folders which are displayed in the console or in your command prompt, that is basically the standard output. And if your command is not exist, or if your command has any issue with the option, it will give the error, right? So that is the standard error. So let's see friends, what are this in practice. So here's friend, this is the old or the previous class files and folders that we have used for the file management. Here we will do the lessons. First thing, what is standard output? Let me zoom it a little bit. So if you write ls, see it's giving all the files and folders available in this directory. So this is the standard output. And if you use any option ls -z, let's say, because there is no option with -z. If you press enter, see it's giving us an error because there is no option like this. So this is a standard error. Now this time all the standard output and the standard error are displaying in our console. But what if we want this in a log file? Because ultimately in your DevOps practice, you need all the error or any success message in a log file. Then how to add those things? So to add any of these command output, standard output or standard error in a log file, we will use two type of operator. One is single redirect operator and another one is concat content operator. So what is this single redirect operator? Let's see. So one thing, let me tell you, to print in Linux we use echo command. So echo hi, say it's printing hi. Now suppose whatever the output this echo is giving, I want that to add in a file. For that we can either use single redirect operator or a concat content operator. So first we will use the single redirect. Now what we will use, echo hi. So this is the single redirect operator friends, and then we will give the file name, let's say test.txt. See whatever the output this echo will give, it will be added in the test.txt. See the hi is here. Now suppose if I wanted to add another text by in the test.txt, and if I open, just see friend, the new content has replaced the previous content. So this single redirect operator will always overwrite your previous content. So use this whenever you need, otherwise you will go for concat content operator. So what that will do, it will concat the output with the previous output. Let's see. So now we have by in the text file. Let's say I wanted to add hello in the text file. Now if I write echo hello and use single redirect operator, then it will override the by, right? Because single redirect operator will always override the previous output. So for that we will use concat content operator, that is double greater than sign. It will append along with your previous output. Enter. Let's open this test file. See now this is appended with the previous output. Now what is the use case of this friend? So we'll use this whenever we will build some of our front-end application, or if you are going to build any back-end application, we need this command very much. So how? Let me tell you. Before that, let me tell you another thing. In Linux, one will be known as standard output and two will be known as standard error. Okay. So what does this mean? Let's see. Just remember, one means standard output and two means standard error, and this one is by default. Okay. So whenever we are using this concat operator, that means one concat like this or redirect like this. Okay. So we don't mention one explicitly. It will be automatically understood by the Linux. Now let's say, as I told, if I write ls and I want whatever the output this ls will give, add that in any file. So let me add that in a info.txt file. Then how to add that? We will use single redirect operator and press enter. So whatever the output this ls will give, now it will be added in this info.txt file. Just open this info.txt. See, whatever the files and folders are there, the output given by the ls command, it will be added in this info.txt file. Now what will happen if I give some wrong command? Let's say ls -z, okay, and then I write info.txt. See, it has given me error. So that means in this info.txt now should contain the error, right? Now if I open, see, it contains nothing. Why? Because the error will be not automatically added in this text file. As I told you previously, by default it is 1, that is a standard output, but this is not a standard output, right? This is a standard error. I wanted this standard error to also go in the info.node text file. How to do that then? Now how to add that error in the info.txt file? So for that we need to explicitly tell that add the error into the info.txt. So let's say ls -z, then for error we will use 2, then the redirect operation, then the file name. Now if you open the info.txt, see, now the standard error has been logged in the info.txt file. So in real world, friend, how will you use this? Because in real world you don't know, right, whether this command will give you standard output or standard error. So for that you need both. It should contain the info also and the error also. So how to add that? Then we'll use like this. Let's say ls -z. Let's suppose you don't know this is a correct command or a incorrect command, but you need to log. So what you will do, ls -z, then if it's successful, then add that in a success.txt file, and if it contains any error, then the standard error will be logged into error.txt file. So ls -z, friend, as we always seen, this is not a correct command, so it will not go under the success.txt, it will go in the error.txt. Now see, error.txt and success.txt both file has been created, but if you open success.txt, it's blank because that's not a correct command, so there is no standard output. So it will go under this error.txt. See, there is an error, that's why in the error.txt it's showing the error. So what is the practical use case, friend? We are in a React project, okay. Now suppose I wanted to build that React project. So in the build process, either it will be a successful or a failure, right? But I want that in a log file. So how to do that? Let's open git bash. Let's zoom it a little bit. Now we will write npm run build. If this build is successful, add that in a info.txt file. And if there is any error in this build command, then add that in the error.txt file. Let's run. So now another thing, if you write this redirect operator, so the output will now not show in the console, it will be added in the text file or a log file. Let's see the error file first. See, in the error file, basically this is not an error, this is the warning that is given by the white, but this warning file will be also added in the error, but the build is successful. If you go to the info, see, the build is successful, okay, build is successful. So like this also, friend, you can maintain your log file. Whenever in the Docker class we will see, we will use the React and use that in a Docker image, we will create a log file like this. And also we can use this, friend, in our GenAI project also. Suppose if any build error occurs, you can use this error file and feed it to the LLM. The LLM will analyze your build file or the error build file, and it will give you a resolution how to fix that build. We will see all those type of practical use case in our GenAI course, friend. For now, thank you. Happy learning.